Oh my god.
Hi, girlies.
Hi, girly. I thought you were going to clap first.
I did.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Hi, girlies. Hi, Jenny.
Hi, Bria.
How are you?
Oh, whatever. I'm all right. How are you?
Jenny is allergic to the Jeter.
I think yeah.
You are allergic. I'm trying to remember. I got to go back in the archives and see when the other times that you were having an allergy attack here were. Oh my God.
You do.
I know I ate a lot of tortilla chips just now.
You try to blame it on Molly. Oh no.
I ate a lot of tortilla chips.
Drink your water.
I am allergic to Molly though, because I'm allergic to Molly at your place too.
No.
Mm-hmm.
You can't. No one is allergic to her. She's a hypoallergenic dog.
It doesn't matter. It's in their spit. And it's like when they scratch you with their claws.
Okay.
It welts up.
All
Anyways, we all have allergies. I don't at the moment. But I do sometimes. So I understand your pain.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've had a lot of near-death experiences, so.
What?
It feels like.
When would you say,
near-death
what's your last
experiences.
near-death experience? When was that?
From an allergy attack?
Mm-hmm.
The last one was, I think, it was in Colorado. We went to a wedding that weekend and we were seeing friends. And then the last night we were there, we slept at Nico's like best friend's parents' house in Cherry Creek. And they have a huge house, like 3 or 4 floors. The main floor, the upstairs, and then there's like a upstairs of the upstairs. Not like an attic, but like I think it's like his room, his friend's room. And then the basement, which was its own floor, had like, a bar, living room.
I'm waiting for you to get to the allergy attack.
I'm painting the picture. Sorry. This is what happens when you're high. Anyway, so we were sleeping in the basement. All of the cat dander lives in there and we didn't realize it. They have 2 cats. One had, these cats are crazy. One had like 2 back legs and one had 2 front legs.
Shut the fuck up.
I swear to God.
Wait, they only had their front legs? Is that what you meant?
No. One had only their front legs and then one had only their back legs.
Okay.
Yeah.
You said they had 2 front legs and I was like, wait. Don't
like
they
only
always?
had 2.
Yeah, that's weird.
Not 4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so anyway, so those cats, dander, just like never got cleaned down there because it was the basement. But there's like a couch and everything, and so just like a time ticker. Like after 30 minutes trying to fall asleep, I started to sound like this. Then after an hour, I start to get really itchy. Then in about close to 2 hours, I'm like, I can't breathe. Like, I'm like wheezing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, let me try to sleep in the bathroom down here. Like, I put a pad down and try to sleep in the bathroom. And Nico, like, comes in and he's like, honey, are you okay? Do you want to sleep with my CPAP? Because he thought, like, if I cover my mouth and I get oxygen, like clean oxygen, I'd be fine.
Aww.
And I was like, I don't think I'll be able to sleep with that on.
That's a very sweet offer.
Yeah. And he was like, what do you want to do? And I was just like, I got to get out of here. Like, I think we need to go to the airport because I can't breathe. It was my eyes. Like,
I know exactly how that feels.
My throat was closing. I was like, might as well have an EpiPen to fucking bring me back to life. And literally, like, not even an hour into the airport, I was fine.
It is very scary. I remember when I was little having my mom pick me up in the middle of the night from a friend's house from a sleepover because the cats.
Yeah.
And that is when I learned I cannot be around them, period.
Yeah. It's bad. You're allergic to dogs and cats. I mean, I've also witnessed a near-death experience this week. Not for me, though. Somebody else that I don't know. The drowning.
Yeah. What happened?
So, as you know, I'm a sleuth. I'm a Nancy Drew. And There's been like two times where ambulance has come to or cops have come to our apartment, but we don't know what happened. But this time we were sitting on the couch. It was like a Tuesday, and I hear a lot of ambulance, and then I hear it stop. I don't hear it like come by.
Right. You don't hear it depart.
Yeah, I hear it stop, and I'm like, Nico, they're here. And he was like, no. I was like, I think I can see lights. And he was like, stop it. And I opened the door, and the balcony door, there's like 5 cop cars on our driveway.
Of course. They're so fucking bored. 5?
I don't know. Yeah, they're bored down there. But I don't know. And then 2 ambulances. And then I was like, oh, my God. And they're like running into our apartment complex. And I'm like, oh, shit, what's going on? And so our apartment is very well situated for the drama, I guess, because we can see the driveway and we can see the pool. Mm-hmm. So we go over to the pool side, and there's this guy who's about 6'5", laid out on the ground and not breathing. And they're like, the ambulance are coming over to him. There's like people around, and like this, it looked like this couple, this like older white couple, was hanging out at the pool with this guy who I'd never seen before. I don't think he lived there. And he looked like a young, like 6'3" black guy with like shorts like this, but he was just flat laying on the curb, or on the like the side of the pool. And I guess what happened was, after I did some investigating into the apartment complex, is our handyman who lives in the apartment complex was coming to lock up the pool at like 9 o'clock, because the pool closes at 9 every night. And he sees this guy laying at the bottom of the pool. And
I didn't even consider that this was at night.
Yeah. This is like when they all are there, it's like 9:15, 9:07, I think. I remember looking at my clock and being like, holy shit. So he sees him, and I'm assuming the couple was in the hot tub at the time, or something, because one of them said they don't know how to swim, which is fucking crazy that you go to a pool and you don't know how to swim, but whatever. Then Joe jumps in the water, and Joe's like maybe 70 years old. Like, he's old for, a handyman, but he's fine. He's never needing to like save someone in a pool. And he jumps in the pool, and he tries to bring the guy up, and he can't, because our pool's 9 feet deep, and he's unconscious in the water, like trying to bring a big 6'3" body out of the water. And you're almost 70 years old. It ain't going to happen. So he gets the hook. Like, every pool has like a cleaning rod, like with a net on it. And then that hook, I never knew what it was really for. It's to get people out of the pool if they're drowning. So he grabs the hook, and he just like yanks this guy across the pool to the shallow end, so he can get him out of the water. But they put this like semicircle thing over the guy when he was laid out. It was basically a defibrillator that just constantly was.
Oh, I've seen those. Like, I've seen videos of those in use, and it is
never seen
crazy how intensely that thing, it is breaking every fucking rib you got.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a big contraption. They're trying everything they can. They put like that thing I think they put a tube into his mouth. I mean, this is horrible. It's horrible. It's really sad. I wouldn't be surprised if this guy is brain dead. I mean, he was like unconscious for at least 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And we
don't even know how long he was underwater for.
Right. And he had no pulse, or he had a pulse, but he didn't look like he was breathing at all. That's why they were doing that, because he could have been DOA. They could have called.
Right.
They could have put a sheet over him. Yeah. He went to the hospital.
Oh my Lord.
And I was like, how did he just drown like that? Like, if they're hanging out, probably drinking. I didn't see any alcohol, but they said, my neighbor said that she heard like him jump into the deep end, like a splash, and then you never came back up.
That I feel is like a myth or like a common misconception about drownings is that like obviously the person would be flailing and you would hear it, but a lot of people don't flail. They just drown.
Because your body, when you drown, you have no oxygen left. So if you jump into a pool and you go all the way to the bottom and you have a hard time getting up because you just released all your oxygen. So you're not going to, it's hard for you to get back up because that's what makes you buoyant. But it was scary.
I do think that everyone, if you can, obviously, like, people aren't out here being like, I'm never going to learn how to swim on purpose. Yeah. But if you can at least, like, when I first started learning how to swim as a little kid, they teach you, like, how to flip yourself over and just, like, tread on your back. Like, at least learn that if you can.
The first thing, because I've taught kids how to swim as a lifeguard. The first thing you should learn is how to blow bubbles.
Okay.
That's what they teach you. No, like as a like.
But like, what's the first thing they teach you that could like save you in a drowning scenario?
Well, so learning how to blow bubbles is basically teaching someone how to learn how to breathe underwater. Because you ever see those people who jump into a pool and they plug their nose?
Yes.
They never learned how to blow bubbles in a pool. And that sounds really silly, but it's like blowing bubbles gets your nose and mouth comfortable to like not inhale water.
That makes sense, actually. I mean? Yeah, because like, you can like block it off.
I've never ever jumped in a pool and been like, I need to plug my nose.
Me neither, because my face automatically just like shuts.
Yeah, you know what to do. Yeah. Those people who do that never like properly learned how to swim or never learned how to blow bubbles as their first step. And then learning how to flip onto your back is probably good, but it's the blowing bubbles is really key.
That will at least like buy you time because you know how to hold your breath underwater and you could at least like get a feel for where you are and stuff.
Yeah, but so our pool is closed because of feces. Because did you know that when you drown, you know that you throw up when you drown because your body is trying to like.
Oh, I didn't know you throw up.
And then before you die, you shit yourself.
I did hear that. Yeah. Everything's coming out.
Yeah.
Oh God. Thoughts and prayers to that man. Honestly, like.
I feel really bad for him. And don't hang out with people who don't know how to swim.
Did they leave him there? Or what was the situation?
I don't know exactly because I tried to get more information from our handyman and then I asked another question and he goes, yeah, I can't talk about this anymore. Like he got freaked out and I was just like, I think he just got nervous. Like he doesn't want to.
Legally?
I don't know. Or he doesn't want to be responsible or, I think people have said like, oh, well, Joe's told me this.
I see.
Like,
yeah,
he
that's
doesn't
not
want to be the source.
The gossip. Yeah. Yikes. Well,
speaking of deaths or near deaths or deaths, he's not dead, but scary.
That we know of.
I hope he's not.
Whoever his friends were, though, I don't know.
Don't drink at the pool.
Don't drink at the pool, and don't leave your friend who can't swim at the pool. Don't leave it without checking on your friend and making sure that they're okay.
Yeah. So what's really going on today?
Today's episode is about celebrity murders / mysterious deaths.
We love a good murder.
We're going to talk about 3.
Is that fucked up for us to say that? Like, we love murder mystery.
I do love murder mysteries, but it is fucked up to say. And I've been more like critical of the true crime that I consume and shit because I used to listen to those girlies who were like putting makeup on and be like, this is a crazy ass story. Let's talk about the murder of so-and-so, so-and-so. So first I'm going in with my Too Faced concealer. So-and-so was born in you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like gross.
Or like the people who do like mukbangs while they're talking about it or joke about it. Like, I feel like you can't go wrong with Dateline. the 48 hours, like they're very respectful to the victim's family is always involved. First of
Yeah.
all,
Yeah,
like,
I do
it's very
think
respectful.
though you're still so like I don't know. I'm jaded in that viewpoint because when I worked for the news, like if there was a high chase situation or something like that's really gonna grab people's attention, they would not go to commercial right away, but then they would run like basically they're trying to profit off of like people's sob stories.
Of course, yeah.
So they would save like better stories for like more viewed times because they're getting more money from the commercials.
Yeah, anytime that look, there is no, what do they say? There's no like ethical means of consumption under capitalism. Like there's you always got to make $1. You know what I'm saying? So there's always going to be something like that. But I do think that some shows do it better than others. And I think if you like take it seriously.
Dateline's a good show. And 2020.
2020 as well. Like the family of the victim is always on those shows.
I have a friend that works on 2020.
I love 2020.
When people were asking her, what does she do? Because she works for Disney. She's like, I make murder stories or like I make murder episodes.
She writes the murder episodes?
People be like, okay. Yeah, she's a producer on 2020.
Oh, wow.
She'd be an interesting guest.
Should we bring her on?
Maybe Sunday.
Oh. Anyway, yeah, today's about celebrity deaths. We're going to be respectful.
Yeah.
I think it's very important.
Also, fuck Yolanda.
Let's start there.
Fuck Yolanda.
Yolanda Saldivar is getting out of prison in less than a year. And the TikTokers are already like, we're going to jump this bitch when she gets out. They are waiting.
I'm surprised she's not been jumped in jail.
Maybe she has. I don't know.
No, what? But,
maybe she has.
okay. But then she'd be dead.
No, people get jumped all the time and don't die.
That's true.
Or
but
like maybe they
would.
make her life hell. They make her life hell.
Yeah.
They steal her snacks. They like do shit like that.
See, this is where I'd like to believe there's a parallel universe where Selena didn't die, and that universe is thriving.
There definitely is a universe out there where that didn't happen, that we will never experience.
Part of me thinks if Selena never died, I don't know if JLo would be a thing.
What makes you think that?
Because I feel like at the time when Selena was popular, it was like, for whatever reason, society worked in the way that like you can only have one of this type of female artist. Like you can only have Lil' Kim. You can only have Selena. Like you can only have like a Celine Dion, but there's a little bit more room for pop stars. Like I don't think the world would have been like I feel like they would have been like, why do we need JLo? We have Selena.
Yeah.
Especially
it's only if you're like as long as you're non-white, there can only be one.
Right. And well, it's fucked up, but yes, I'm not trying to say like, yes, that's what that should be, but it kind of sounded like that after I said it. I was like, that's not what I meant. But Selena was also, because she was primarily a Spanish speaking singer, but she didn't actually speak Spanish. She had to learn how to, did you know that?
No.
She had to learn Spanish to sing in Spanish and know what it meant, because she never learned how to actually speak Spanish, even though her family is like Tejano, like from Texas and like Mexican American. But I think she's from one of those families that like have lived in Texas since it was Mexico, but they're, like Eva Longoria is also like that.
Oh, really? She's from Texas?
Yes, but she's like, her roots are like, they've always lived in Texas, but it was Mexico before it was America.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, little lore about her.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's so in the movie that JLo was in.
Right.
And the show, they show that like she had to learn how to speak Spanish because she would go sing in Mexico, and then they would want to interview her for like Telemundo or Univision, and she'd be like, I don't know what to say because I only speak English.
Right.
So she had to learn Spanish. But yeah, I feel like because of Selena, J-Lo has a career and she crushed that role. But if Selena was still alive, they probably wouldn't have made that movie.
Right. And that really was the last time that Jennifer Lopez was like critically acclaimed for her acting. Was it not? Was that shady?
That's not true.
When?
What's the stripper movie that she did? That's the last best thing film wise she's done, and she crushed it. But again, it's like it's a role that she can probably lean into that's familiar because she's a dancer. You know?
Yeah.
Like Selena, singer, dancer, actress. Pretty easy for her to do.
Oh,
I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway,
but so who's Yolanda?
Okay, so let's circle it back. Okay, so Yolanda heard Selena pretty early on and kept contacting Selena's dad and being like, please, like, you need to start a fan club for Selena. She's so cool, blah, blah, blah. And the dad eventually was like, okay, you can start the San Antonio Selena fan club. And it ended up being one of her biggest fan clubs ever. It had like 8,000 people in it or something. And so Yolanda's getting in with Selena's family and ends up running her boutique. She has like a string of boutiques as well. Ends up stealing a bunch of money, allegedly embezzling, and gets confronted and like fired or whatever. And then Selena's dad was like, hey, you need to meet up with Selena and give her some financial records for this, I don't know, boutique or whatever. And when Selena met up with her, she made up this weird story about how she had been assaulted and needed to go to the hospital. Selena takes her to the hospital. They say, we can't do anything here because the assault happened allegedly across the border. So they go back to the hotel, and that is when Yolanda shoots Selena in the hotel and chases her, calling her a bitch. And then Selena makes a run for it. And because she was running, her blood was pumping faster, and then she died from the blood loss.
She died in the hospital.
Yeah.
So sad.
It is just like that whole like celebrity and fan murder thing is very scary to me.
Yeah.
Parasocial relationships existed even back then, even before social media.
Yeah. It fucked up her whole family too. Like her husband, I think he'd been remarried twice afterwards and then has gotten divorced. Like that was her love of her life, you know? Like
it really is so tragic, and she was so young. Like it's just sad.
I am shocked that she's being released.
And this bitch wants to work with Shakira.
She said that?
She said, when I'm getting out, I want to work with Shakira. If I were Shakira, I would get a fucking restraining order.
Would never. But you know what
Delusional.
that bitch is going to do? And I'm surprised she hasn't done it yet. She'll probably write like a book like OJ.
Yes.
Like if this is how I would have done it.
God.
Or, you know, her version would be like, this is what I would have done if I didn't do it or something. Like
hers will be like why I did it instead of if I did it.
Sure. Yeah. Like fuck
we
off.
know you did
like,
it at this point.
It's just, it's sad. I love Selena. I love Selena.
It is really sad. Like growing up, I didn't really listen to Selena, but I understand the impact. Like the impact was pop diva status.
I mean, I remember hearing Dreaming of You in JC Penney in 1996.
Oh my God.
7.
That
like
song had a moment.
Died.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my babysitter listened to it all the time. So I was about it.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Selena. Yolanda, you can fucking choke
on it.
Anyway.
Speaking of OJ.
God, speaking of OJ, I'm sure he's looking up at us right now as we're recording this.
Wow.
Nicole Brown Simpson's sisters.
I don't even think he should be in hell. He should just disintegrate.
He's under the hill. Whatever that is. Nicole Brown Simpson's sisters just released a docuseries about her murder. And I literally, to be honest, I've watched so many things about this case that I feel like I'm an expert at this point. Okay. But it's very interesting how her family has kind of like, they've kind of backed off of saying that it's OJ because they have her kids now and they don't want to say that their dad was a murderer, even though everybody knows that he was. And they really are
Wow. Really?
They are taking the high road to the nth degree about all of this, just because they want her kids to like grow up normal, even though how is it possible?
They're grown.
Yeah, but they don't want to disrespect their dad in that way.
Okay.
I mean, his kids were with him till the end.
They were, right?
Yeah.
How old are his kids? I think they're like
They're
in
older
their
than
30s.
us. Yeah.
Yeah. 40s maybe?
Yeah.
Like one of them, I don't know if you ever saw this online. They think that his daughter looks like Kourtney or Khloe Kardashian.
Oh, interesting.
People say that OJ is her father.
I have heard that OJ is her father.
I think it's the hairdresser, but
The hairdresser does look like her too. Yeah. Anyway, yep, OJ is dead. I'm glad that it's almost like we're hearing the story close now.
His kids were 8 and 5 when she was murdered.
I can't imagine being 8 or 5 years old and having your mom killed.
And then you live with your dad who killed her.
Right, but you don't think that he did that.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, yeah. So they don't think that.
I mean, at this point, you're fucking grown. Like,
yeah.
You know, they might know something, but
they're 38 and 35 now. Okay, so it's been 30 years since she's been killed.
94, yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
It's been a while, but like getting to know more about her as a person, she actually was like a very cool, like kind of fun girl.
Why?
I don't know. She was like going out to the clubs. Like after they
Yeah.
separated, she was like really living her best life again.
Oh, like Princess Di? Lady Di?
Yeah. Yes. Exactly like Lady Di. And it was finally like all of her friends were like, oh my God, like she's happy now. She's away from him. This is so great. And then your family member leaves their sunglasses at a restaurant and the waiter comes to your house to drop them off. And it just so happens to be when OJ's driving by and he's like, who's that man in my house?
Wait, so what happened? I don't think I know this.
So that day, Nicole Brown Simpson and a bunch of friends and family had gone to this restaurant. Not a bunch, but they'd gone to this restaurant. Someone at her table had left the sunglasses at the restaurant. And Nicole Brown Simpson said like, oh, just drop them off at my house tonight. I think they were her sunglasses. That would make sense.
That's wild.
So she was like,
could you imagine?
Yeah, I mean, maybe it was a situation like
waitress to come or waiter,
or maybe the manager said, whatever, my waiter lives near your house, he'll drop them off.
Wow.
Whatever it was. This man does not know her. Goes to drop off the sunglasses.
This is the guy who got killed.
Ron Goldman, yeah.
Okay.
And then OJ Simpson is fucking stalking her ass, as he does, and is like, who the fuck is this man? And he confronts them and is like, who the fuck are you? And ends up killing them, allegedly, if he did it.
But so she was by herself after going to dinner with friends.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's just like, and you know what? Even if she wasn't by herself, you guys are separated. You're an abusive asshole. Let her move on.
And that night, did he like have the kids or something? Or the kids are in her house?
No, I think he had them.
Wow.
There was a lot. It was just really a situation of bad timing, honestly.
Yeah, I believe that.
Bad timing. I have no doubt. Like, he was obviously abusive to her throughout their whole marriage. Like, he might have killed her at some point, regardless.
What do you mean? He did kill her.
I know, but if Ron Goldman hadn't been there, at some point he might have killed her anyway.
Right. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Like, she would have done something.
Right.
Like, oh, I saw you at a restaurant with someone or whatever.
He pulled the trigger, for lack of a better term. Well, I think he stabbed her, but because he saw Ron Goldman go inside. Yeah.
I believe that he was like set off into a jealous rage.
Yeah.
And
that's some shit because he also cheated on her. So
awful.
Like, fuck off.
Awful person.
It's crazy how men are just so
toxic.
I mean, he thought, well, everybody, he was invincible.
Of course.
I'm trying to think. I don't even know if anyone has ever been at that like kind of caliber where he just so beloved like that. Maybe Kobe, but not even.
Yeah. I don't know.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It would almost be like Kobe or LeBron James.
Maybe like Richard Pryor.
I'm thinking of like athletes.
I know. I just think of Richard Pryor because, like, you know how people. There was a documentary I remember watching about OJ where someone was saying like OJ didn't even like think of himself as like a black person. Not
Yeah,
like,
no,
he
he said,
was, but
I'm
yeah.
not black, I'm OJ.
Right. And so a lot of people, I think in the documentary that I watched, it was like, you know, Rodney King had just died. And so there's a correlation there.
Did he die or was he just attacked?
Or he was attacked. He didn't die. Sorry. I'm sorry. He was like brutally attacked.
Yeah.
But he has since passed.
Right, but not from the attack.
Not from the attack.
Yeah.
But people kind of felt like, okay, OJ's case in a way is kind of like that redemption of Rodney King.
It's not even like a redemption. It's like, we know these cops are racist as hell. They don't care if we live or die, and they get away with it every single day.
Yeah.
So let's put a black person in that position where he did something so heinous and fucked up, but y'all do it every day.
You know, he doesn't see it like that. Like how people saw.
I don't know about OJ himself.
I think he took advantage of that factor.
Yes, absolutely. Like Johnny Cochran was playing that shit hard.
Oh yeah.
And I think a big, I don't want to say misconception because I'm not going to generalize everyone, but from the people that I grew up around and stuff like that, it wasn't that black Americans were like, OJ didn't do it deep down. It was like, maybe he did it, but they do shit that's way worse every single day. They get away with it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like a lot of people look back at that and they're like, yeah, black people said he didn't do it. White people said he did do it.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, they said he didn't do it, but deep down, like it wasn't 100% clear. Like he didn't do it.
I mean, it wasn't though. Like it was, but it wasn't, you know?
It really, you could make an argument for someone else doing it.
Yeah.
There was a long-standing theory that like his son or one of his, like his son from his previous marriage or some other guy that he knows did it for him, you know?
Right. Like they thought that he hired someone. I mean, my mom, I think at the time she said she didn't think he did it.
Really?
Yeah. My dad was like, you're crazy.
I mean,
he definitely made himself look way more guilty as time went on. At the time,
the book attacking the reporter. Did you ever see that?
The cover?
No, when he was being interviewed and popped out around the corner holding something and like acting like he was stabbing the reporter as a prank.
No, that's crazy.
And he's talking about the book, If I Did It, as if like,
if I did it, this is how I would have done it.
He's talking about the book, right? He's talking about the book, and literally, it seems like he's telling you what he did. There's no doubt in my mind watching that interview that he did not do every single thing he said.
Why would you put that out?
Because what are they going to do? Like, put me on trial again? In the criminal system?
No, but as a civil. I don't know.
And they did.
And they did. And he lost. He lost the civil suit. So.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like something that I'll never get over.
It's traumatic. And it fucks up families. It's sad. I mean, I think it fucked up her family and poor Ron Goldman's family.
Oh my God. Ugh. Like, what the fuck? Even if he had been hooking up with her, which he was not, you don't deserve to get fucking stabbed to death by OJ Simpson, her ex.
Over
what
sunglasses.
The fuck?
That's horrible.
It is horrible.
And no one ever talks about his poor, unfortunate situation. Sad. Okay, the last criminal investigation we will be discussing is of Matthew Perry.
Oh my God.
Who is famously from friends, and that poor man had a really hard life, truly.
I really want to read his book.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people read that and said it was really, really good.
I think it was very insightful to his tortured soul, which is unfortunate.
Oh, God.
I mean, he battled with addiction his whole life. I think he even like opened up a rehab facility.
Oh.
And so it wasn't a surprise when he passed, but recently they have said they're opening up a criminal investigation into his death, which is, people were like, what? Because he overdosed in his hot tub. And so usually that doesn't really have a criminal investigation, but
I mean, they did it with Mac Miller. Like, the person who sold him the drugs went to prison.
Interesting.
I feel like anytime there is an overdose like that, you should absolutely find the person who did that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's good because
they're giving it to other people too.
He died of fentanyl overdose?
Ketamine.
Oh, ketamine. Oof. Wow.
Which was interesting because he was doing ketamine therapy for like depression and anxiety at the time. But the levels that they found in him were so high that like they couldn't be from his last session. His last session was a week and a half, I believe, before he died.
Wow.
And the ketamine in his system was like the amount they use for anesthesia.
I read something too that like the assistant might be implicated because I think she was help administering his drugs.
Oh, which is such like a Hollywood assistant thing to have to do.
And she was also there that night he died. She was the only one there, I think.
What did she say? What was her like witness statement? Did they say?
I don't remember. Something weird. It's weird because he died in the hot tub, like drowned in the hot tub.
What I think probably happened, he probably went into a K-hole and drowned and didn't realize that he was drowning. I mean, it's just really sad. All of these drug overdoses are very scary and sad.
Scary, yeah. I had a friend it was after high school, but a friend from high school who he died from a heroin overdose. And I thought that man was invincible. Like he would buy Swisher Sweets all the time and just like he would just be fucked up all the time, but he was so smart. So it was kind of like he was just naturally gifted, you know? And yeah, he just got introduced to the wrong people. And then our sophomore year, he passed.
I can't even imagine now. The kids are like buying these drugs on Snapchat and stuff, and they're laced. Like, I can't imagine being a kid now because so many of your friends are probably ending up in the hospital because of fentanyl and shit like that.
Buy those strips.
Test your drugs.
Yes.
Even if it's not like
don't
the
do them, but
or
if
whatever.
you do, test the drugs.
Especially if you're taking like a Molly, a Coke. Like, I don't know, anything. Yeah. Honestly, it could be anything now.
Ecstasy.
Especially.
Yeah.
If you are taking a random pill with like the Superman logo on it, bitch.
Or Pac-Man.
Come on now. You better test that.
Scary.
I thought for our idea this week.
Yeah.
We could talk about one of the oldest celebrity murder mysteries, I guess, of our time.
The Black Dahlia.
What do you think happened to the Black Dahlia?
I like the theory of the dentist, I think. Or she hooked up with someone and then they
What was the dentist theory?
That her dentist was like, what's it called? Like a Sweeney Todd. Do you know what that is?
Like killing people on purpose?
Yeah.
What?
And like experimenting on her body. Because when they found her body, so you know she was sliced. Mm-hmm. The precision in the slicing was like a doctor did it.
Yeah. That is very interesting. It could just be someone, I don't know, because it's not like you can Google back then how to slice. No. Like now people literally Google, how do I kill someone? You would have to know how to slice a body. Right.
Or a butcher or someone.
And her blood had been drained.
Yeah, perfectly.
Honestly, maybe this was like a funeral director.
Why?
because they know how to embalm
But
and
what's
shit.
the motive?
Maybe
Who does she- what
okay, here's my
funeral
theory.
director does she know?
It's a funeral director who is a photographer on the side. And she wanted to be an actress and stuff. So she's thinking, oh, I'm going to go to this photographer and get new headshots. He ends up killing her because he's sick and then does his little thing with her.
Yeah, because there was photos of her body. Yeah. I don't know. It's an interesting murder that is probably the most famous unsolved murder and will never probably be solved.
The murders from back then.
Wild.
I mean, there were so many Hollywood mysterious deaths. Fatty Arbuckle, I remember.
Who's that?
He was in the movie industry and ended up overdosing allegedly in a hotel.
Oh.
But it was like the old Hollywood days. Like people were just dropping like flies back then.
Chateau Marmont. A lot of deaths in there.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I think in the Roosevelt Hotel too.
And the Magic Castle.
Ooh. Creepy.
Creepy.
Okay, shall we end with a quote?
Sure. Yes. Sorry. I want to be remembered not only as an entertainer, but as a person who cared a lot. I already fucked this up. I knew you should have done this.
I want to be remembered as a person who catered a lot. I catered many baby showers, birthdays, weddings, graduations.
I gave the best that I could. I tried to be the best role model that I possibly could. Selena.
We miss you, Selena.
Rest in peace.
God bless. God bless Nicole Brown Simpson. God bless Matthew Perry. I feel like I'm doing one of my nighttime obsessive compulsive prayers where I have to say, God bless everyone or else they die.
You do that?
I used to do that as a kid.
That makes sense.
Anyone? Intrusive thoughts, anyone?
Oh my God.
Anyway, on that note, follow us at High Girlies Pod on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. I almost said Twitter. I don't know why.
We don't have that.
No. And you can listen to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify. That's pretty much where people listen. Anywhere you can listen to a podcast, you can listen. And we'll catch you next time.
Bye, girlies.